Hi everyone, we're so glad you joined us today here at Studio Classroom Worldwide. My name is Steve.
And my name is Rachel, and we have a very informative lesson for you today. We are going to be talking about germs. Oh, Steve, even to mention the word germs kind of makes me shiver. I don't like germs at all.
Germs are dirty. Well, we're going to talk more about these germs. The title of our lesson is called Germ Alert. We need to be more informed about germs, so let's learn more about them on page 38 in line 1.
Germ alert. Beware of these germy places. No one likes germs. You wash your hands often and avoid sick people. But some of the germiest places are in your own home where you can't avoid them. The kitchen sink. Over 77,500 bacteria per square centimeter can live in your sink drain. More bacteria live in and around the sink itself. To get rid of them, clean the entire sink area with a disinfectant. Wet laundry. Those wet clothes from your washer are not all that clean, especially if they include underwear. Use hot water and bleach to wash underwear, as it contains E. coli. Put wet laundry in the dryer quickly so the bacteria do not multiply. Your bathtub. The germs you wash off your body stay in the tub. About 15,500 bacteria per square centimeter. Use a disinfectant to clean your tub weekly. And dry the tub with a clean towel so more germs won't grow on the wet surface.
Well, again, the title of our lesson is Germ Alert. So we need to be on alert or be aware of these germy things and germy places that are in our own homes. Steve, I think this is a very eye-opening lesson. I know I learned a lot from reading it, and it's not always fun information, but it is important.
It is important because germs, as I said before, are dirty, and they could make us sick. One problem with germs, Rachel, is that they're so small. Germs are actually small living things that cause us to get sick or become ill.
That's right. We can't really see them. Sometimes we know where they might be, but maybe we don't even know that we've picked some up, maybe on our hands or our clothing. So we're going to give you some information and teach you how to beware of germy places. And there are some places that seem to attract more germs than other places, aren't there?
Good point. Well, let's get into the text. It says, no one likes germs. I don't know anyone who likes germs. You wash your hands often and avoid sick people. I think that's something a lot of people do. Most of us, when we come back from a public place, the first thing we do is wash our hands. We want to get those germs off of our bodies.
That's right. And all of us probably have mothers who at some point told us what we need to do to avoid getting sick. And one of those things is to avoid other people who are sick because they have germs. And you can catch those germs sometimes and you might get sick yourself. So this sounds a little bit like my mother talking. Rachel, this is what you need to do to avoid germs. But unfortunately, sometimes you just can't avoid certain places in your home that have a lot of germs.
Right. These are places in your own home. We're not talking about a public place. We're talking about a place where you live. So, we need to be aware of this. Some of the germiest places are in your home where you cannot avoid them. You live with them every day.
Well, where are those places and what can we do about them? Let's talk about that right now, and we're going to start with the kitchen sink. Now, I think probably every home has a kitchen sink, but did you know that kitchen sinks are big breeding grounds or big places of attraction for these germs?
That's right. In fact, somebody took the time to count the bacteria, which are also something like germs. They're little living organisms that can cause sickness or even disease. Someone took the time to count them, and they found over 77,000 bacteria per square centimeter can live in your sink drain. So when you look down the drain of your kitchen sink, it's really kind of like a living organism. There's lots of life down there.
Oh, Steve, that's one way to put it, but it doesn't sound very good to me. Again, you mentioned that bacteria is a small single-celled life form. The basic thing that we need to know here is that bacteria multiplies or reproduces very quickly. So if there's a little bit of bacteria, sometimes it can keep reproducing and almost get out of control. And it doesn't mean that you're going to necessarily get sick from your sink drain, but you should clean it often.
Okay, what is the sink drain? Specifically, it's the pipe that carries water and waste away. Out of your kitchen, you have a drain in your bathroom too. The bathtub has a drain. It's the pipe that carries water away. And that pipe, that area where the water goes into, the little food particles, they get into there, and the bacteria just love living there. There's 77,000 of them, more than that, per square centimeter, which is kind of the size of the tip of your little finger.
Wow, so actually there are probably millions of them around your entire sink drain, because as our author says, more bacteria live in and around the sink itself. So it's not just the drain. You need to clean the whole sink. In and around the sink means the entire sink.
Okay, so the author wants to remind us to make sure we keep our kitchen clean. The author says to get rid of them, or in other words, to kill them, we need to clean the entire sink area with a disinfectant. Disinfectant is a big word. Rachel, I need your help on that.
Well, a disinfectant is a chemical that inhibits or stops the growth of bacteria. So if you go to any store or maybe not a convenience store, but a grocery store or a department store, you might be able to find an area where they sell disinfectant sprays. Often it is in a spray bottle, but sometimes you might shake it out depending on if it's a powder or a liquid. But there are many kinds of disinfectants you can choose, and all of them should kill the bacteria.
Right. That's their number one job, to destroy the bacteria. We don't like bacteria. Remember, bacteria can cause sickness, illness, and even some kinds of diseases. So we want to keep that area of our house as clean as possible. Have a clean kitchen sink.
That's right. Now, I like to actually clean my kitchen sink because I know that it's better. I feel better when my kitchen sink is clean. I know that sounds a little strange, but I take the disinfectant spray and I spray it down. And actually, Steve, this is a tip I learned from my mother, but I don't wipe it off right away. I let it sit there for a few minutes to make sure that it kills everything.
You're so cruel. You make those bacteria suffer first. Well, that's pretty smart. You got to make sure that you get them all. Okay, well, yeah. Make sure your kitchen sink is clean. Go out and get a disinfectant and clean up that sink. Well, friends, we want to take a break. When we come back, we'll be talking more about germs.
Welcome back, friends. We've been talking about germs and how we can stop the spread of germs and bacteria. And before the break, we learned that one place where you can probably always find hundreds, if not thousands and millions of bacteria is in the kitchen sink. So, Steve, what do we need to do in the kitchen sink?
We need to keep it clean, folks. We need to use disinfectants to kill all of those bacteria. There's a lot of them, over 77,000 of them per square centimeter, in fact. So there's probably millions of them crawling around your kitchen sink, and that's not good for our health, right? Because germs and bacteria cause sickness.
That's right. And they multiply and reproduce quickly. So you have to stop them before they do that. And we hope you all can take time to clean your sink today. Well, let's move on to our next category here. And it's wet laundry. Now, our author's giving us a lot of tips on how we can stop germs from spreading. And Steve, this is one that, wow, I think I've been guilty of before. For example, when you do the laundry, you might wash your clothes and leave them in the washer all day until you get home. But that's not a good thing, is it?
Not a good thing. Laundry are clothes that need to be washed or clothes that have just been washed. And if the laundry or the clothes are wet for some time, that becomes an encouragement for the bacteria to grow. I think bacteria, they like wet places, they like warm places, and so the laundry is a perfect place for them to multiply.
That's right. And we also read that those wet clothes from your washer are not all that clean, especially if they include underwear. Now, this is something that it's not really fun to talk about, but basically you need to know that just because you put it in the washer doesn't mean it's free from bacteria or germs, especially underwear.
Right. We're going to learn about E. coli in a moment. We want to use hot water and bleach to wash underwear because it contains E. coli. Oh, E. coli. E. coli is a bacteria that's found usually in the intestines of animals and pigs and cows and sometimes humans, and it's very dangerous. It can cause severe sickness. Well, we want to kill that, so we need to use hot water and bleach.